There are many countries on the planet with amazing stories, but few like this one, which in just a few decades has gone from being one of the poorest in the world to one of the most prosperous and richest, earning the nicknames Little Dubai or the Qatar of South America. In this new uncensored world video, we will get to know in more detail Guyana, one of the smallest and unknown, but at the same time fascinating countries on the planet. Guyana, the fastest growing country in South America and much of the world, has experienced an economic boom thanks to the discovery of huge reserves of black gold, a discovery that has allowed the government to reduce taxes and consider granting more than $2,000 to each citizen, thus boosting the welfare of its population. A place full of unique natural wonders, such as the imposing Qatar Falls, the highest in the world and 5 times higher than Niagara Falls, beaches of hundreds of kilometers, and a biodiversity so vast that more than 85% of the country is hidden under the jungle, with 30% of its flora and fauna yet to be discovered, which has much to do with containing tribes that have remained isolated from the rest of the world until today. One of the most unknown countries in South America, largely due to its isolation, in the interior of one of the densest and most virgin jungles on the planet, which was home to the Caribs, documented by European colonizers as the first cannibal tribe in the history of mankind. A natural beauty that has a lot to do with the fact that a good part of the farmers and settlers of what not long ago was one of the poorest countries in the American continent have become millionaires overnight. Pay attention and don't miss this video because we assure you that discovering Guyana with us will surprise you. Let's get started. Guyana is a small country located on the northeast coast of South America, bordered to the north by the Atlantic Ocean, to the east by Suriname, to the south by Brazil, and to the west by Venezuela. With a population of approximately 790,000 inhabitants, Guyana is one of the least populated countries in the region, which translates into a low population density of about 4 people per square kilometer, a reality that has much to do with its geography. Since in Guyana, more than 85% of its territory is covered by virgin rainforests, which are considered largely untouched by human activity. This vast expanse of vegetation harbors an impressive ecological wealth, and it is estimated that more than 30% of the species of flora and fauna that inhabit these jungles have yet to be discovered by science. This fact highlights the importance of the conservation and study of these ecosystems, which represent a natural treasure yet to be explored. All this has a lot to do with the fact that one of the longest rivers in the world is located here, the Essequibo River, which flows through Guyana, extending for more than 1,000 kilometers. This majestic river is not only vital to the local ecosystem, but also forms part of the country's cultural landscape, serving as a transportation route and source of livelihood for many communities. Along its waters, diverse species of fish, mammals, and birds are found thriving in this aquatic environment. The wealth of biodiversity in and around the Essequibo highlights the importance of conserving these habitats. Guyana is also home to exceptional wildlife, with several species found nowhere else on the planet. For example, the jaguar Panthera onca, one of the largest felines in the world and the largest in the Americas, inhabits the dense jungles of this country. In addition, species such as the pink river dolphin swim in the fresh waters, being one of the most emblematic aquatic mammals of this region. As research is conducted in Guyana's vast jungles, scientists continue to identify new species of flora and fauna, reinforcing the idea that more than 30% of the biodiversity of these jungles has yet to be documented. This ongoing discovery not only highlights the natural richness of Guyana, but also raises the urgency of protecting these unique ecosystems, which are a treasure not only for the country, but for the entire world. The country's official language is English, making it the only country in South America where this language is predominantly spoken. This linguistic uniqueness is a legacy of British colonialism, which left a deep imprint on the country's culture and administration. In addition, Guyana is home to a rich ethnic diversity, including indigenous African, Indian, and European communities, which contributes to its varied cultural heritage. In particular, the presence of the Indian community in Guyana is remarkable and surprising in this region of the world, as it is estimated that about 40% of the population is of Indian origin. This influence dates back to the 19th century, when the British began importing labor from India to work on the sugar plantations after the abolition of slavery. Many of these workers came from regions such as Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, and brought with them their customs, traditions, and, of course, their religion. A fascinating curiosity is how these communities have kept their traditions alive over the years. For example, during the festival of Diwali, known as the Festival of Lights, the streets of Guyanese cities are lit with lamps and filled with colorful rituals celebrating the victory of light over darkness. The festivities often include a mix of local influences and Hindu traditions, creating a unique cultural experience that reflects the rich heritage of this country. Thus, Hindu culture has intertwined with other traditions in Guyana, making this nation a true melting pot of cultures. Another of the most fascinating aspects of Guyana is its connection with the ancient indigenous civilizations, some of which are believed to be still in contact with the rest of mankind in the 21st century. Mysterious tribes with realities and traditions that you will soon get to know in more detail. But before that, it is good to understand the main reason why the third smallest country in South America, and one of the most unknown on the planet, has gained worldwide attention in recent years. This new fame of Guyana is due to the explosion of discoveries, a few years ago, of large oil reserves in its territory. In the year 2015, huge deposits were found in the Liza oil field, located in the Essequibo River Basin, which marked the beginning of a new era of prosperity for this country. It is estimated that Guyana's oil reserves may reach 11 billion barrels, which has put the country on the map of major oil-producing nations. This discovery has transformed the Guyanese economy, which used to be one of the poorest in South America. With oil production underway, it is projected that Guyana could become one of the richest countries in the region, comparable to nations such as Qatar in terms of per capita income. These facts have earned it the nickname Little Dubai, or the Qatar of South America. Because of this, the government of Guyana has begun to implement policies that seek to take advantage of this oil bonanza to improve infrastructure and public services, although it also faces significant challenges in terms of governance and sustainability. The new gold rush, as some have called it, is radically transforming Guyana's economy thanks to the discovery of huge oil reserves. Projections indicate that by the year 2027, Guyana could pump more oil per capita than Saudi Arabia or Kuwait, and is expected to overtake Venezuela as South America's second largest oil producer, after Brazil. Among the policies implemented by the government to share this growing wealth is a program that will grant $2,000 to each household. This initiative seeks to alleviate the cost of living and reduce economic inequalities. In addition, in an effort to combat inflation and facilitate access to essential goods, the government has eliminated more than 200 taxes and fees, including those on fuel, water, and basic foodstuffs. This $2,000 per family program, which will impact approximately 264,000 households, represents a significant portion of the country's gross national domestic product and natural resource fund. Although the measure has been positively received by advocates of universal basic income, who see it as a step towards a more equitable redistribution of wealth, there are those who warn that an increase in public spending could increase inflationary pressures in the long term. Thus, Guyana faces the challenge of managing its unexpected economic growth while seeking to ensure a more prosperous future for all its citizens. In terms of oil resources, Guyana has positioned itself in recent years as one of the new leaders in oil production in South America, surpassing countries such as Ecuador and Bolivia. Production is estimated to reach more than 1 million barrels per day in the coming years, which will mark a significant change in the region's energy landscape. The rapid industrialization and economic development derived from oil is attracting the attention of investors and companies from all over the world, transforming the country's perception on the international scene. At this point, we take the opportunity to ask you, does the government in your country help you with aid like that of Guyana? Would you like it to be so? What is the curiosity that has most caught your attention in this country? Pause the video and leave us your comment. You know that doing so is the best way. You have to support Uncensored World so that we continue working to bring you every week content as interesting as this. So, thank you. For these realities, the world is setting its eyes on Guyana, taking into account not only the natural resources, but the beauty of one of the most unspoiled countries on the planet. This natural wealth, along with its dense jungle and impressive mountains, has inspired the imagination of many, including the famous author Arthur Conan Doyle. His famous novel The Lost World is based on the idea that in remote and almost unexplored places, there may exist amazing ecosystems and creatures that have survived over the centuries. Doyle was inspired by the region's majestic mountain formations, known as tepuis, which are characteristic of Guyana's rainforest. Among these tepuis, Mount Roraima, on the border between Guyana, Brazil, and Venezuela, is one of the highest and most fascinating tepuis not only in the country, but also in South America, a place believed to be home to many endemic species. These imposing rock plateaus, rising abruptly above the surrounding jungle, evoke a sense of mystery and adventure. Through his vivid descriptions, the author invited readers to explore the possibility that these unexplored lands might still be home to unknown species and lost civilizations, a concept that has endured in popular culture. In essence, Doyle's narrative reflects the awe that Guyana generates among those who enter its jungles and mountains, many of them virgin and unexplored. The country's combination of breathtaking landscapes and rich biodiversity continues to inspire writers, adventurers, and scientists, reminding us that in the heart of this nation, there may be wonders yet to be discovered. Thus, the legacy of The Lost World lives on, keeping curiosity alive about this exceptional corner of the world. But surely the most impressive wonder of Guyana is its breathtaking Qatar Falls, which are considered the highest and most powerful waterfalls in the world. Located in the heart of the rainforest, these falls plunge from a height of over 200 meters, creating a breathtaking visual spectacle and a roar of water that can be heard from afar. Unlike other famous waterfalls, such as Niagara Falls, Qatar Falls is 5 times higher and much less crowded, allowing visitors to enjoy the natural beauty in a quieter, more secluded setting. One of the most curious aspects of the Qatar Falls is the phenomenon known as the rainbow rain. Due to the force with which the water falls and the spray that is generated, it is common to see beautiful rainbows forming in the air, especially when the sun shines on the horizon. Iwokrama National Park, which is located near the falls, is another example of the rich biodiversity that can be found in Guyana. This park is home to numerous species of animals, including panthera jaguars, river dolphins, and birds unique to this rainforest. In addition, Iwokrama has become an important conservation center, where research on sustainability and responsible use of natural resources is conducted. But aside from the natural beauty that can be discovered in the interior of its jungles, Guyana is a country that overlooks the Atlantic Ocean, with an extensive coastline that is home to some pristine and enchanting beaches. Although many tend to lump Guyana into the Caribbean region, it is not actually part of the Caribbean, as its coastline, which stretches along the Atlantic Ocean, is different from those of Caribbean countries with warmer, more tropical waters, such as Barbados or Trinidad and Tobago, which are entirely within the Caribbean basin. Despite this geographical difference, Guyana's proximity to Caribbean countries has led to its cultural association with the region. Its rich Afro-Caribbean and Indo-Caribbean heritage, as well as its traditions and festivities, reflect a fusion of influences that resonates with Caribbean culture. Among its beaches, the most famous and outstanding is Shell Beach, which stretches for over 140 kilometers. This stunning coastline not only offers panoramic views and soft sands, but is also a crucial refuge for several species of sea turtles which come to nest on its shores. Although Guyana is not famous for being a beach resort destination like some of its Caribbean neighbors, its extensive coastline and pristine beaches make it an attractive place for those seeking tranquility and natural beauty. As you are seeing, this country has remained untouched and little known, and that has a lot to do with much of its beauty. This reality in Guyana's past has much to do with the many indigenous tribes that have populated its jungles since time immemorial. Among the most prominent are the Arawaks and the Caribs, but there are many other ethnic groups such as the Waiwai, the Patamona, and the Akawayo. The Arawaks, known for their farming and pottery skills, have left a significant cultural legacy, while the Caribs, with their history of warriors and navigators, have influenced the culture and language of the region. The Waiwai, meanwhile, are known for their deep knowledge of the environment and their lifestyle in harmony with nature. These tribes have developed a unique connection with the land they inhabit, respecting and preserving their natural environment. This relationship with the land is manifested in their traditions, rituals, and the way they feed themselves, build their homes, and use natural resources. Guyana is considered to be one of the few countries that could still harbor tribes that have had no contact with the rest of the world. These communities, far from progress and modernity thanks to the thickness and geography of the Guyanese jungle, continue to live according to their traditions, preserving their languages and customs. The existence of these uncontacted tribes highlights the importance of conservation and protection of their territories, as their way of life is a testimony to the cultural and ecological diversity of the planet. In a world where many cultures are disappearing, these communities represent an invaluable link to our past. The Caribs, in particular, have an intriguing history that includes tales of cannibalism, an aspect that has contributed to their fame and, often, their stigmatization. Known as Kalinago, the Caribs were an indigenous group that inhabited parts of the West Indies and northeastern South America, including Guyana. Accounts of eating people among the Caribs come mainly from early European explorers and settlers, who documented their culture and customs. The Caribs are said to have practiced ritual cannibalism as part of their beliefs and spiritual practices, especially in the context of warfare. European accounts suggest that they captured prisoners and, after defeating them in combat, cooked and consumed them. This practice has led to a perception of the Caribs as the first cannibalistic tribe on record. The name Carib is derived from Carib, which in their language could mean man or man of war, reinforcing their reputation as warriors. However, it is critical to consider that accounts of cannibalism have often been exaggerated or misinterpreted, as many indigenous cultures have ritual practices that may seem strange or unusual to outsiders. Moreover, this stigmatization of the Caribs was often used to justify the colonization and extermination of their peoples by Europeans. Therefore, although there seems to be a historical link between these tribes and cannibalism, it would be important to understand that many times history is told by those who win the wars, and this is the complex reality behind the fact that many times the history that we have been told and may be reflected in books may have very little to do with the reality lived in places and communities like this one. Today, Guyana's indigenous communities struggle to preserve their rights and traditions in a rapidly changing world. They face challenges such as natural resource exploitation and deforestation, which threaten their territories and way of life. However, many of these communities are working in partnership with non-governmental organizations and the government to protect their culture and environment. The resilience of these tribes is a testament to their strong connection to the land and their determination to keep their traditions alive in an ever-changing world. As you have seen, Guyana, with its rich cultural heritage and breathtaking landscapes, is on the cusp of monumental change. As the country harnesses its natural resources and integrates into the global economy, Guyanese hope to build a more prosperous future, while continuing to preserve their unique cultural identity and the stunning natural beauty that has characterized this nation for centuries. Before wrapping up this tour of Guyana, it's important to know how to get the most out of a trip through this beautiful country. To get there, most travelers choose to fly into Chetti-Jagan International Airport, located about 40 kilometers from Georgetown, the capital. Several airlines offer direct flights from major cities in North America and the Caribbean, such as New York and Trinidad and Tobago. There are also connections from Europe and other South American countries. Visa requirements depend on the nationality of the traveler. Citizens of many countries, including the United States, Canada, and the European Union, do not require visas for short-term stays, generally up to 90 days. However, it is essential to check specific requirements before traveling, as they may change. In addition, it is advisable to have a passport with at least 6 months validity and a return or exit ticket. In general, the cost of living in Guyana is relatively low compared to many South American and Caribbean countries, despite the recent economic boom it has experienced. However, prices can vary considerably, depending on location and type of establishment. For example, in Georgetown, prices are a bit higher due to its status as a capital city and commercial center. To get a clearer idea of prices, a coffee at a local coffee shop can cost around $1, while dinner for two at a mid-range restaurant can range from $5 to $10. For those looking for accommodation, the price for a room in a 3-star hotel can range from $10 to $25 per night. In summary, Guyana presents itself as an inexpensive, booming, and very attractive destination for travelers, with a rich culture and stunning natural beauty to discover. With flights relatively easy to find and visa requirements favorable to many, the country is inviting to those looking to explore a lesser-known part of South America. Its cost of living allows you to enjoy a unique experience without spending a lot of money, making it an interesting option for a getaway or a longer adventure. From Uncensored World, we hope this video has been as interesting for you as it has been for us, and has helped you to discover Guyana, one of the most remote and unknown jewels of the planet. If so, do not hesitate to leave us a nice like and a comment. It is the best way to help us to continue working to bring you every week interesting content like this. Or like this video that you can watch now to discover another of the most mysterious and beautiful places on the planet. Click on it and you will enjoy it.